What's up, guys? Ryan Elwood here, coming to you live today from the kitchen, where I'm going to be sharing with you something I put together to help you really grasp what is actually needed to succeed in this online education world, and created an analogy to help drive the point home, that being one of cooking. So I have gotten into cooking somewhat recently and been watching Gordon Ramsay and all those cooking shows all the time. And one thing that Gordon Ramsay always talks about is how important the ingredients are to making a great meal. And he says that the ingredients are the real secret, and the better the ingredients you have, the less you need to do to them. And when I heard him say all that, I realized that there's a parallel to what is required to succeed as a coach. You see, most coaching programs are going to tell you to use a tool to be successful, like a Facebook group, or a webinar, or a podcast, or growing your email list, or running paid ads, or building a funnel, right? Like getting better at sales. Those are pitched as what is needed to be successful in the online education world. But those are the equivalent of like a pot for cooking, okay? So the tools, right? I've got plenty of pots and pans and things over there that we use to cook all the time. But those do not affect the outcome of the meal itself nearly as much as the ingredients that you actually put in the pot, right? And so after investing, over 6 figures myself, trying to figure out what are those ingredients that sort of make some online coaches really successful and other ones are just out there struggling to get any kind of traction. And I've come up with 5 things. There's 5 key ingredients to being successful in the online education space. When you use these ingredients and you put them in the pot, you can cook a delicious meal, meaning you can get paying clients and pay your bills and make a real business out of making an impact. And that's what we're all trying to do here, right? Is do what we love, make a difference in the world, but not live in our car in the meantime. So, all right, without further ado, let's get into what these 5 ingredients are. So ingredient number 1 is what I call, and yes, I came up with cheesy names for all these where they both start with the same letter. I just did it to help them resonate and you to remember them, okay? So the first one is what I call a Comrade Client. And that means that the type of client, like your avatar, right? They talk about all this stuff like who are you targeting? Who are you focusing on? Well, it should be your comrade, AKA your friend, AKA the person that you like being around the most, that gives you the most energy, that has the same interests in you as you, the person that you would love to meet for a beer the most because you'd have the most engaged conversation with. If you choose that type of person as your client, then you will win because the customer is the foundation of the whole business, and you want to love the person so that you can sustain the business long term. You can help them in different niches and different outcomes, but the person really should stay the same. You're not likely to have a dramatically different preference in the type of person you'd want to be friends with, 5 years from now than you do today. And so making that your client will allow you to really enjoy the business in the long run. And since you have similar interests to that person, you will be able to help them with things that you're interested in. And that leads me to number 2 is a thrilling topic. Ingredient number 2, you should be coaching people in a topic or a subject area or a niche that you are currently passionate about. So not something that you did in the past that you have a great track record on, but you're like, I'm kind of tired of that. If you're not currently learning about the thing anymore, if I don't see you listening to a podcast on that topic during your Sunday walk or whatever, then I don't recommend coaching on that topic because the passion is going to kind of have fallen out of it, and you're not going to be as fresh and as cutting edge for all the best advice you could give your clients if you're not a student of that game yourself. And there's really honestly probably someone else out there that's better suited to serve that person than you are in the niche if they're still really passionate about it and you're not. And so you can coach in the topic area. You can, coach in what I call your thrilling topic if you follow a few of the next ingredients that I'm about to reveal. They will show you how to do that, because you're probably thinking, well, I'm really passionate about this one thing, but I don't have like a track record in it, okay? So ingredient number 3 is a definitive destination, okay? Now that's my fancy way of saying a specific result or outcome. What do I mean by that? You need to have a program that gets a specific result for people, okay? So many coaches are struggling because they're out there like, yeah, I just help people like blow up their mindset, and I help them remove limiting beliefs and awaken to their deeper mission and calling and spiritual realization. And like, nobody wants that, okay? Nobody thinks they need that. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't need it. It might be the exact thing they need. And I'm all into the deep stuff, right? So I'm not dissing you. But when someone's scrolling Facebook, like, they're not thinking, oh, I need to find some self-awakening today or whatever. They're probably thinking I need to make money or improve my health, mental or physical health, or improve my relationships, find my soulmate, whatever it is. Health, wealth, relationships. Those are the big 3 markets. And you need to have a specific outcome that your program gives people in one of those areas. And then once they pay you, you can talk about all that deep shit that you're talking about now that's running people away, okay? So you need to have a definitive destination that your program takes people to. Like mine, for example, I take coaches to landing their first 3 high-ticket clients. It's really specific. And yes, there's lots of deep work involved, right? But I have to lead with that front-facing specific message, and even I don't like it, sometimes. I'm like, but there's all this other stuff I do. No one really cares, right? They want that outcome. So you need to show them the very granular result that can be tracked and measured that they would get through working with you. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is a realistic result. Okay, so not only does it have to be specific, but it needs to be within your ability to deliver. I know that sounds obvious, but like, there's a lot of coaches out there, and you guys know this, that are full of shit, and they're promising to do things for people that they can't do, and they've never done it for themselves, right? And that's a big problem with the industry, and it won't last long. This industry is going to become more and more regulated because it's surging and it's taking the place of traditional education, which is awesome. But you need to operate with a high level of integrity, and just like Steve Chandler says, speak only to that which you are certain. So like, if you are out there saying, I help coaches make 6 figures a year or something like that, but you don't know how to do that, or you've never done that for yourself, then don't promise that for people, okay? Like, think, well, what are the steps that it takes to make 6 figures a year? And then you could look at it, it's like, well, I gotta have like lead generation, I have to build a funnel, I have to do this. Then what's maybe one of those steps that you could be the expert on, that you can definitely deliver to people 100% of the time, okay? So just looking at what you can do, like, it's almost, if someone says, hey, if a little kid says like, could you help me tie my shoes? You're not gonna be like, I don't know, I'm lacking confidence and I gotta work on my mindset and maybe I can trick myself into believing I can do this. No, you wouldn't do that. You would just like bend down and tie the freaking shoes, right? Well, when you get a client or a prospect on the phone, you should feel about that certain to helping them get the outcome that you're telling you can get for them. Because this confidence issue stuff, it just sabotages coaches. Not to mention that it's like very, unethical to tell someone you can do something you can't, but you'll struggle to sell that program, right? You won't project confidence in your videos and in your calls to action on those sales calls if you're BSing people. So just like, make the business easy and fun for you, and just promise to help people with something you can actually do. If all you can do right now is build a website for somebody, then make that your first offer. It's specific and it's within your ability to deliver, okay? So you have a definitive destination and a realistic result, meaning you can do it. That is key to not only your happiness, your confidence, but also getting results for people, and selling your program, because people are great BS detectors and they can tell if you're promising to do something that you can't do for them. All right, number 5, the last ingredient is called the altered angle. Okay, your altered angle. Now, yes, I've made another alliteration. Other people say like your unique mechanism. Some people call this like the blue ocean or whatever. But if you've ever wondered and you look at all the other gurus in your niche, like how in the hell am I going to compete with them with a big audience and tons of credibility and all that? The truth is that you kind of can't, unfortunately. You can get a few clients or whatever, but they're going to take most of them, because why would somebody work with you instead of them, right? The thing is you are better than them in some ways, right? Like, not in just the fact that you're more available, like a guru's not going to do one-on-one, like you could. But there's unique things about the way that you teach that need to be brought to the surface, okay? And in order to explain that, like literally just look at what I'm doing right now, okay? So I'm saying like the 5 ingredients to making 6 figures as a coach, right? And basically what I did is I was like, well, what makes me different? Well, I kind of do the deep work with people to help them discover, who they'd love to serve, the topic they'd love to coach on, the specific result that they want to offer to the market that they definitely can deliver on, and then spinning it to show how they're unique. I'm the person who, helps them get those ingredients, and then they can go take that and put that into their podcast, their Facebook group, on their Instagrams, in their emails, and actually get some resonance and love what they do, right? And I thought about, this analogy of cooking. And I have this as my webinar, by the way. I run ads to a presentation on this to book application calls to book clients into my program. That's the primary way I get clients, right? But I didn't just hide that like thing that makes me different. I thought about how I could communicate it in like a way that's sort of catchy, like this cooking analogy. And then I spun it and put it as my front-facing marketing message, right? And so what you want there is for your prospects to look at it and go, oh, so that's different than all these other people. It's not just this program's $5,000 and this program's $6,000. They're the exact same. So why wouldn't I just pay for the $5,000 one, right? That's when your service gets commoditized, because it is the exact same as everyone else's. And you will struggle if you don't have a unique angle. And if you're worried about coming up with the more of like a clever, unique spin for like a way to talk about what you do, that is one of the trickier things. It requires probably like intermediate marketing skills, which I would say maybe that's where I'm at. I'm definitely not like advanced. There are other ways to create a unique angle. Just to give you an example, I have a friend who is an oil and gas engineer, and this isn't actually in the coaching space, but he is raising money for multifamily acquisitions. And instead of just raising money from anyone and everyone who would take money or give him money, he just decided to focus on the oil and gas industry. And as a result, in a short amount of time, he's raised millions of dollars by just focusing on one type of client. Another guy has a mastermind for investing in real estate, but it's only for dentists, because he was a dentist and he escaped through real estate. Now he helps other dentists escape. And so you can see how, if he just had a mastermind for real estate, think about how many there are. But he goes one step more niche down to focus on just dentists. There was no other mastermind like that. So if you can take what you do one step more niche possibly, then you will essentially create your own space. And it's a lot easier to succeed. For him, you could say he's limiting himself from other people. But really, if you get most of the dentists who want to invest in real estate into your mastermind, you're going to have a more successful mastermind than the person who's opening it to everyone, but struggling to enroll people because they can't see how he's different than anyone else. Okay, so niching down is really, really powerful. And there's lots of books on this, like Blue Ocean Strategy, 0 to 1, Purple Cow. All the marketers are always trying to look for unique angles, but you need to find yours. And I could go on this topic forever, but it's it's a deep one, and it's probably the one that might intimidate you the most. It's like, how do I come up with my unique angle? But you can, if you just slow down and think about what makes you unique, think about a way you can present that to the market, then that will just make everything easier for you. So I want you to imagine now you're serving the type of client that you love to be around, and you know specifically who that is, right? Not just someone who's into personal growth, but it should be like entrepreneurs or dads or like ex-military. It needs to be someone that you can go find. And you're serving them in a topic area that you love to learn yourself and you're super passionate about. And you're offering with your program a very specific quantifiable result, a definitive destination. Number 4, that's also fully within your ability to deliver. So there's not all this self-doubt, confidence issue BS. And number 5, you are showing why you are unique and different. So people are not just like saying, oh, there's another one of those people. You have gone one step further and created your own ecosystem in the market. Those are the ingredients that it takes to be successful. And I paid, multiple 6 figures to be around like Russell Brunson and Brendan Burchard, Dean Graziosi, to ask these guys questions in person to try and figure out this business. And because I always knew there's like something I'm missing. It's not really just funnels. Like there's some other thing that they know that I don't that makes them so successful. And that's what I came up with. And I hope that helps you guys because when you get these things in place, the business gets way easier, way more fun, and way more lucrative. Now, if you want some help executing on the 5 ingredients in your coaching business, that is what I do in my coaching program. And it's a 10-week program. We work together one-on-one to help you implement all these into your business, to put your ingredients into whatever pot is the best fit for your lifestyle. And that's when you start to see results. And unlike other coaches who take your money and run, I actually work with my clients until they've made back the investment that my program costs. So it's 10 weeks, but if you have not made back what you've paid me, we keep working together until you do, because that's how confident I am I can help you and how much I care about getting you the outcome. So if you want to talk more about working together, if you want to find out if that would be a fit for you, just shoot me a DM. Since we're here on Facebook, shoot me a DM. And if you're watching this, like if I repurpose it on the podcast, I'll put a link down below to book a call with me through my calendar. But you can just shoot me a DM if you're on Facebook. And thank you guys for tuning in. Hope that helps. Here's to your success. Peace.